The Federal Bureau of Investigation has launched a review into the deadly shooting of a Utah man during an FBI raid on his home on Wednesday. Agents were attempting to serve arrest and search warrants on 75-year-old Craig Robertson after they say he made credible threats to kill President Biden and other Democratic public officials. The deadly incident unfolding just hours before President Biden landed in Utah for an event.
The tipping point to me was President Biden was coming. He was going to be in close proximity. And this individual looked like he was on a planning path to carry out the attack.
A federal complaint full of screenshots details the dozens of threats Robertson allegedly posted on social media. One of them just 4 days ago. Quote, "I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle."
We're glad that nobody in law enforcement was hurt. This is really not about just the rhetoric. It's about the actions that can sometimes go with that rhetoric.
So let's get this straight. You have a 75-year-old man, a 75-year-old veteran, morbidly obese, disabled, can barely walk, walks with a cane. And you have the guy under surveillance for over a year. And you could have taken the guy whenever you wanted to. You could have approached the guy in a parking lot somewhere, put him in cuffs, and that would have been the end of it. But no, you wait until Joe Biden's coming to Utah, and you raid the guy's home. You raid the guy's home at 6 a.m. And again, the potential for things to go wrong would occur then. I mean, I have no experience in that whatsoever. But I can tell you, if you break into some guy's home at 6 a.m. that has guns, the potential lies for things to go bad. And they did. Now, I'm not condoning at all what the guy said, what the guy did. And, you know, the guy said apparently some threats on Facebook or whatever to Joe Biden. And again, that's wrong. You don't threaten anyone, especially the President of the United States. You don't do that. So again, the guy was wrong in doing so. But we got to remember, there's a big difference in the way that people are treated on the right and left. A big difference in the way they're treated. I mean, again, remember not quite 3 years ago, Joe Biden stood in front of a blood red background. And it said the MAGA. MAGA was the biggest threat to our country. And again, no, we're not. But again, he said so. And he basically said that we're Nazis. The people on the right, I mean, they're bad people. And I believe, in a way, directly responsible for the attempt on Trump's life, the two attempts that we know about on Trump. I think it can be directly attributed to what Joe Biden said. And again, people on the left, they believe they're morally justified in taking out people like Trump and taking out people like Stephen Miller and taking out people like Charlie Kirk. And again, you can hear that in their own words in what I'm going to show you next. And again, these people, they truly believe that. But I'm going to show you several video clips from the No Kings protest that occurred throughout the country over the weekend. And, you know, again, these people, they believe they're moral, they believe they're right. And they're not. They're not even close. They're violent people. But again, we got to understand, you know, they get frustrated because George Floyd lost his life. You know, he was a drug addict with drugs in the system. And again, that was the reason why the man died. But we have to understand, when they burn down half the country, you know, because they're upset, they're frustrated. They're upset. We got to understand that. But again, some old man that says that, said whatever he said about Joe Biden, We can't understand him. And again, the people at the No Kings protest, they can say whatever they want about Trump, about people on the right. They can make whatever threats. Again, this nation has got to wake up. But guys, watch.
Hey! You ever heard about septic, you fat ass?
This is the kind of people that are educating our young. They're educating the next generation of this country. Again, to believe that, again, Charlie Kirk should be killed. And again, Charlie Kirk was. But who's next? Who's next? Again, these people, they believe they're kind. They believe they're compassionate. They're doing everything to rid the country, to rid the world of hate. They're uniting people. They're bringing people together. They're not. They're tearing people apart. They're tearing the country apart. And they're violent. They're nasty. I'm going to show you another clip of another woman. Again, they had no problem saying that Trump, again, she would love it if she woke up and found that Trump was dead. Watch.
So this is your birthday, so
Yes.
You came out on your birthday, you thought it was important. Tell me why.
Absolutely, because I have two little boys who deserve a bright future of freedom and democracy, and this is a nightmare that I'm living in, and I'm here to make a difference and to be loud and proud, and there's no other way I'd want to celebrate my birthday than with my parents and my best friend fighting for our country.
So for a birthday present, what do you hope happens? You wake up tomorrow morning.
I hope that I see the obituary that we're all waiting for tomorrow. That's what I hope for.
You wishing that President Trump is dead?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Anyone on the right, excuse me. Could you imagine anyone on the right saying this at all? Of course not. Of course not. It wouldn't happen. Again, people got upset because Trump and Trump's supporters said that we ought to go after Hillary Clinton. We ought to lock her up for the crimes that she has committed. People got big mad. They got all upset about that. But again, they went after Trump and tried to lock the man up for nothing at all. They tried to prevent the man from being able to run for office. Do we not understand something? And again, they called for the death of Trump. Could you imagine? Just imagine if a bunch of white guys in MAGA hats were saying, let's go after Maxine Waters, AOC. Again, they ought to, die. They ought to be killed, whatever. Could you imagine that? Again, they would say, oh, you can't say that about her. You can't say that about her, especially if it's a woman of color. You can't say that. Again, you're oppressing her. People are so screwed up now. They are so screwed up on the left right now. They have lost sight of anything right and wrong. They truly don't have what it takes to determine what is correct and what is not, what is acceptable and what is not. But I'm going to show you one more clip of a woman that is happy that Charlie Kirk was killed, because she said that Charlie Kirk was basically Hitler, and that she is glad that Hitler is dead. Watch.
Something that I've heard in interviewing Republicans is that they're concerned with the health care going to undocumented immigrants. What would you say about that?
I don't know that it's true. Everybody deserves health care, and we can certainly afford it in this country. So again, they're just, they're pointing to things and saying it's our fault, we're too liberal. Yeah, it's really depressing. I don't know how anybody your age even thinks of having children, okay? Okay, millions of Democrats did not vote. Whose fault is that? We need to get ourselves together, and we might even need to be a little bit meaner, because the Republicans don't mind being mean.
And by mean, what do you mean? Do you mean protesting? Do you mean...
Maybe we have to, I don't know, stop being so nice.
Because you seem like a pretty nice lady.
I'm a pretty nice lady, but I can be pretty mean, too.
Okay, and I have to ask this because people on the other side are going to say that they feel like the Democrat Party has been mean. Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, you know, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead. Evil people have no place in my world. He was a hateful human being. It was disgusting, the things that he said and did. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. I have to point my energy in other directions.
Charlie Kirk, number one, was not bad. There was nothing wrong with anything he ever said. Again, he wasn't being nasty to anyone. I mean, again, the nastiness comes from the left, not the right. I mean, this woman is saying that Charlie Kirk is basically Hitler, and that she's glad that Hitler is dead. We gotta understand, man, these people are out of control. They are out of control. Now I'm going to show you a few clips of the men on the left. And again, they're no different in their mind. They're no different than the women. And it truly is scary. Watch.
Who are you gonna kill?
Nazis.
Who do you define as a Nazi?
What do you mean? It's pretty...
In this context, who's a Nazi?
Stephen Miller's a Nazi.
So you're gonna kill Stephen Miller?
If I had the chance, yeah, I would.
I don't know if that's something I'd say on camera, bro.
So you're saying that Stephen Miller is a Nazi? Really? You know, again, in what way? You know, I could definitely understand if he was doing some kind of a medical experiment on people. I mean, again, I would definitely say, yeah, that would qualify as being a Nazi. You know, especially if you're chopping the genitals off kids and giving them hormone blockers and hormones and everything else to make them appear to be something they're not and can never be. Yeah, I would say that qualifies as being a Nazi, but I don't think Stephen Miller is doing that. I think that's coming from your party. But again, we live under an oppressive king, Trump. You know, again, where you can sit out there and you can say things like, you know, I would like Stephen Miller to be killed. I would kill him if I had the chance. Really? Why? Why would you kill Stephen Miller? Why would you say that? You know, again, Stephen Miller, I don't know a whole lot about the man personally, but why would you want to kill somebody that you disagree with when it comes to politics? Why? Why would you ever? I mean, again, I would get it. I would totally get it. If Stephen Miller were taking children and doing experiments on those kids, I would say, yeah, you know, I get it. At least, I wouldn't go out there and kill them. But again, I would say, you know, I get the anger, I get the outrage, but that's not happening. That is happening on the left. That truly is. But, I mean, you see what's happening. These people are so confused in their mind. They're so messed up. They're evil. And they're following nothing but pure evil. They're following, again, this feminist ideal. And, again, it's bringing this country straight to hell. It truly is. But I got a couple more that I want to show you. And, again, we got to realize these people, at least as far as I know right now, are not sitting behind bars, although they should be. Watch.
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out. The state machinery that's a full display right there has to get wiped out.
We on the right have to be tolerant of, chopping the dicks off kids, of giving the hormones. We got to be tolerant of criminals that invade our streets, that kill people. Again, we have to be tolerant of allowing certain people into college that score less because, again, they're a different color. They're a different color. They're a minority in this country. We have to overlook that they are taking the place of other people that score higher. We have to be tolerant. But they can get out there and they can yell and they can scream. They can say, we ought to take the lives of these men and women that are enforcing our laws. We ought to take their lives. Again, it doesn't make a damn bit of sense unless you're a leftist. But I got one more for you. Watch.
Brings their kids here. Don't start that shit right now, man. Don't start that shit right now.
The executive order is now in place.
You get off my land! Get off my land! These are my lands! Get off my land! I told you, get off my land! These are my land!
These people, they truly believe they're doing what's right, what's of God, what's good. And again, they've been militarized in many ways by people like Joe Biden, by leadership on the left, Obama. They've been militarized. They've been made to think what they're doing is right, what they're doing is good. And they're acting in ways that are against themselves. They're acting in a manner that hurts them. They are their own cancer. They are the cancer that's, again, eating away at this country. And they think they're doing the right thing. They're not doing the right thing. They're doing the wrong thing. And I think if anyone truly would look at it on the left, they would see, they would understand, hey, look, we're destroying what has been built, and we're acting in a way that goes against everything that we hold dear. The fact of the matter is, man, these people want a king. They definitely want a king, and Trump is definitely not. Trump is a duly elected president with the majority of the vote, of the popular vote in every swing state went with Trump. So again, the man was elected the right way. But, these folks say, well, no king, no king. What are they upset about? Well, they're upset because Trump is enforcing the laws of the land of this nation. Again, shut that border up, getting rid of the illegals that came across this country, into this country in the wrong way. He is sending them back. And again, that's right. The man is enforcing our laws. Now, these people definitely want a king. Make no mistake about that. But they want a king that will absolve their student loans. They will open the border wide up. Everyone that wants to come in can come in. They want a king, but a king that agrees with them. They want to be ruled. They want to be told what to do. They want to be told what to think. And again, anyone on the left, they're being told what to think, and they don't even realize that they're being told what to think, who to have compassion for, who not to have compassion for, who's a Nazi, who's not a Nazi, and what's right and what's wrong. And the thing is, evil is really making its presence known in this country and around the world, to be honest with you. And this evil is confusing people. They believe, that Charlie Kirk being killed is a good thing. It's a good thing for this country because he was basically Hitler. These people have no idea just how brainwashed they truly are and how dangerous they have truly become. And they need to ask themselves one question. If they have so much compassion, who do they actually have compassion for? But if you guys would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.